I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on what we're talking about here. Our focus, unlike almost all the other organizations that are now furiously raising funds for Israel, our focus is on the Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria. First of all, because that has always been our focus. But the truth of the matter is we are deeply concerned. We all saw what happened 2 weeks ago when Hamas terrorists crossed the border from Gaza into Israel and went to communities, some as close as a kilometer or 2 kilometers away, some even up to 25 or 30 kilometers away, and they entered communities. What we saw were the communities that were spared, or the communities where the fewest people were killed or injured, were those where the first responders were able to adequately present a good line of defense, preventing the terrorists from coming in. In order for first responders to be able to do that, they have to be trained and they have to be well equipped. In Judea and Samaria, we are not a few kilometers from the nearest Arab community. We are a few hundred yards in many situations. And the most urgent need today is to ensure that those communities that are literally a few hundred yards from hostile Arab villages, and particularly those communities where there are no other Jewish communities nearby. Very often these are very small communities with just, tens of families as opposed to hundreds or thousands, and these are the communities that are most vulnerable today. If before this current war that we are engaged in, the assumption was that terrorists would come in 1 or 2 and maybe be able to attack the people at the gate, maybe go to a local store, shopping center, damaged, no question, but minimal damage and much more easily contained by the 1 or 2 people that are on guard with whatever equipment they have. We have also been very involved in providing surveillance cameras for a lot of the communities, particularly the larger ones, but also the smaller ones, and this enables you to see certain things in advance. With what happened last week, the picture has changed. First of all, we're seeing that Hamas capabilities are much more sophisticated than we anticipated. Stationary surveillance cameras are now, they're very important, believe me, very important, but they cannot be exclusively relied on. And what we saw happening with Hamas near Gaza was one of the first things they did was they put up drones, military drones, into the air and shot out the stationary cameras. And therefore, one of the things that is most important for us is to have surveillance drones where they can be moved, put up in the air, taken down at any point. The first you hear of something going on, you can put this up and it moves, and it is much less vulnerable to attack than the stationary cameras that can be planned in advance as a stationary target. So this is some of the needs. Also, we need to make sure that our first responders are adequately equipped with radios and with night vision goggles and a host of other equipment. Now, the military equipment, guns and all that kind of thing, are provided to the first responders by the IDF. So this is not the kind of thing we get involved with and not the kind of thing they need. We need to be sure that they have the civilian equipment that gives them the eyes, that gives them the ears, and makes their stand and enables to protect them. For example, making sure they each have high quality ceramic vests so that if they are engaged against terrorists, they at least are protected. They have these vests which will protect them from most sorts of gunfire. One more thing to emphasize: Hamas is not only in Gaza. Hamas and groups like them, Islamic Jihad, and some of the smaller splinter groups, all of which are getting funding and training from Iran. These groups are all over Judea and Samaria. And in fact, in a community right near me, there's quite a Hamas center there. And the communities that I've selected and that I've sent to you with the greatest needs are all very close to areas with terrorist cells in very areas nearby communities, or that they have access to open areas where it's easy for them to roam and come and attack a community. This, of course, is our fear. In light of what we saw 2 weeks ago, we need to be sure that we are as protected as possible. Whatever you can do, whatever your friends can do to help, I will be so grateful. as you can imagine, the risks are great, and we need all the support we can get, both prayer support and financial support, so we can be sure everybody is as protected as we can make them. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.